Hello from Canada. Hey, it's the Bad News Show for the 27th of January. Joey Only Care Be Weather Dude YouTube channel. Let's go. There it is. This is bad news.
My God. All out right now. Anything can happen.
Get on! Wow. I'll watch the video later. They try mopping this. My God, there's a lot of bad news. Holy, there's so much bad news all the time. Today, though, we'll be talking a little bit about emergency preparedness. Shannon there from Diggy's Diner wrote a nice blog. See, what you don't know, some of you, is that they also have this food company they've started called Moose Islands Food, in which they freeze dry a number of meals and foods and things. So part of her emergency preparedness is trying to sell you onto their idea of their product. However, the blog is very good, and they support me. I support them. So I thought it'd be a great topic to kind of look at today. I've been a little outspoken and hard at times about what I think is emergency preparedness in my own town. It's not because I don't think people aren't trying. It's not because there isn't some, weapons, some equipment here for the fight, that there isn't some people who are trained and have been training in our assets. We have some things here that are workable. I just think, nothing is ever good enough. And it's like, even with my own fire crew, we try to have that attitude that nothing is good enough. And it's not like in some negative way. It's more like in a positive way. It's like, well, there's always room for improvement. It's like, let's always look what we can do better. Let's always be open to suggestion. Let's always try to get better. Let's always try to work harder, right? So that's the attitude at which I come from. And, if I could be fire chief in any town in this province, and I wouldn't be satisfied with the amount of preparation and readiness in the community for wildfire and fire in general. That's me. Okay, lots of other bad news. We'll go through a bunch of things from the weekend that come up, some of the funniest memes, some of the funniest realities, some of the scariest nonsense and bullshit going on. Yeah, I'm predicting bad weather for you. I'm predicting not just bad weather. I'm predicting social upheaval, predicting, possibly large-scale war, confrontation, global instability, predicting rich, the oligarchy trying to further seize and erode democracy in the West. Those things we're talking about. So it's one thing just to be like, wow, the clouds are nice, but we got to also look at reality. Anyways, Bad News Show. So here's Shannon's new blog on mooseislandsfood.com. And we got here tornado, volcano, earthquake, tsunami, drought, avalanche, forest fires, windstorms, hurricanes, sinkholes, sandstorms, floods, and hailstorms. What about war? What about America? What about fascism? Here's another thing we're going to have to start being ready for in our communities is, are we going to get invaded by the Americans in the next 2 years? It's not out of the question, my friends. Things are getting weird out there. Denmark is fully ready to defend Greenland, and the European Union is sending troops over. It's like, these are scary, weird times. So emergency preparedness can mean a lot of things. It can also mean human calamities. It could also mean COVID, right? So, but, natural disasters, that's an easy one to talk about, because at least if we say natural disasters, it's apolitical. Understanding emergency preparedness. She says, disasters are unpredictable. Acknowledging the necessity of preparedness equips you with a plan and peace of mind. Essentials to have on hand: store non-perishable items that you can sustain you for at least 72 hours. I say longer. I like to say months, 72 days. That's how long you should be able to last here if something goes wrong or further. So this is their new product here, and I'm not trying to be an advertising service, but I actually really like the product, and I've been wanting to talk about it for a while, because what they're doing is putting all these meals. Hey, my coffee's just about ready, by the way. One of the great things of living at 3,935 feet above sea level is my water boils faster than yours does. So I get my coffee, water done just a little bit faster. I'm going to take off in a second and fill the rest of the Bodum. But so what they got is this pail here that comes with a whole bunch of meals in one. It's like this, safety. And for why I'm putting this out there is for you fire crews, because I know every one of us wildfire guys has to have a 24-hour meal kit that will last everybody in the truck, in case you get cut off or sent somewhere on a whim, or you gotta go. I've had it where we've had to spend 3 days, 4 days, 3 nights on a mountaintop, where we were basically not cut off, but we're, in a hard to access place where it's like, well, you're there for the next couple of days. We don't have a camp for you, don't have anything, so come ready for for 4 days of work. Anyways, I think as a crew leader, one of the biggest pains in my asses in fire season is having to get that 72-hour kit ready. Drives me nuts, be like 9 o'clock in the night. We get to Prince George. You got to pick up this guy, pick up that guy. Oh, he doesn't have socks. Whatever his fucking problem is. Oh no, we were short on batteries for headlamps. Oh no, we better get some headlamps. And there's all that running around you got to do so that you're because the ministry has inspections, and if you don't pass the inspections, you ain't working the fire. And we want to work the fire, so we're trying to get everything together. And then you're like, oh no, what about our 24-hour kit? Then you got to run to Walmart and buy a bunch of stuff that's inevitably gonna. You put it in a plastic tote, but the fucking lid blows off as you go down the highway, and now you got no lid on your tote. Now all the dust is getting in there from the dirt roads and bullshit. So fire crews, company owners, Nick, Carmana, hey, if anyone from Wolverine's watching this, hey, if anyone from ITS watching this, all you guys, love you all. This is a solution you can have that in this bucket. It's got a screw tight lid, so it seals right fucking up, and you're good to go. So this is what I want for my fire crew. All you got to do is add water to this shit, and it's amazing. Curtis is a great cook. I eat there all the time, right? So, okay. Enough trying to sell their product. But no, I think this is a good idea. And I think that this is the kind of thing that's going to catch on more and more. People like me are preppers. I have cupboards that are full of dried beans and dried rice and things like that, at the very least, I'll survive for a long time here, whether it's a happy existence or not. So you got to know where to find shelter. Whether it's your home or an emergency shelter, the homes of family and friends and whatnot. And, I know from my time in mountaineering, I'm always looking for shelter. I'm out there in the bush. It's like, where, if I had to, would I be hunkered down in, right? So I'm always looking for these key places that could get me out of a jam if I get stuck out there. Keep supplies ready, like blankets, pillows, and basic comforts. It's so like maybe have a separate set than your own that's in a bag that. Just a go bag or whatever, or it's in your vehicle already. Medications, make sure you have, if you have specific medical needs, please be ready ahead of time for that, right? Check the expiration dates that she says here, and that's something I'm not good at. And I got about 50 different bottles of, because I had women live here in the past, not anymore. Like nobody wants to fucking live with me anymore. Had all these vitamins and whatnot, and they've been in the cupboard for like literally 10 or 15 years, and probably it's time I go throw them out because I'm not going to eat them. I don't give a shit about vitamins and crap like that. If you do, that's fine. It's just that's not my thing. I believe in health, but maybe not in the way that you do. That's all. Again, have important identification things ready, right? So just waterproof containers. It's good to have waterproof containers. You can go get those little camera containers. They're really, really good. And you can put all kinds of shit in them, right? That's just a good example. Like having extra waterproof containers around never hurts. And you can put things like that, like your USB drives. One of those waterproof containers, this one time, I was out canoeing around at Atten Lake here. With a girl, actually, and then we stopped on the island there, and I won't tell you what we did on the little island, but then we got back home, and I was like, "Oh, where's my weed?" And it was in one of these waterproof containers, right? One of these Pelican ones, and it's on that island. And then, but the thing is, I had to go to work for the next 2 weeks. I had a 14-day shift go on, so then like 2 weeks went by. And I didn't have time to get out there. It gets dark early, and at that time of the year it was like fall. And then finally I get out there, throw the canoe in the water, canoe across the lake, find the pelican case, open up, and there's the weed in there. I was like, yay, plan for communication. That's got nothing to do with maybe your emergency preparedness, but for me, having weed around is emergency preparedness, man. I'll tell you that. Create a communication plan that outlines how to contact family members. Keep your mobile phones charged, right? It's always good to have your radios and your phones and your vehicles at full. Purifying tablets, it's got this nice list. You can go and look at the article yourself, right? But transportation, evacuation planning your route, knowing different escape routes, thinking ahead of time, right? Looking at what's going on out there, looking at the fire behavior, and be like, you know what? Here's what we're going to do if this happens. Here's what we're going to do if that happens. Here's what we're going to go if that happens. So like I said before, make sure you got your vehicle full. Have your tools in your vehicle. You might as well have your vehicle set with tools. It's not just for this kind of stuff. But when the fire happened here, some guys had to evacuate from their mine properties way back there at Antler Creek, and The one guy, I believe he blew at least one tire back there on his way out, and with fire blowing off everywhere around. So it's like, nice to have your tools when you need them ready. Here's the gorgeous, beautiful Matthew River. It's so beautiful here that I thought I'd just stop and have a flat tire. And what's awesome is that I don't have my 7-bolt fucking lug thing that's supposed to be Ford needs to take the tire off. For some reason it's not in the truck. Know when to leave. So monitor local news and things like that. Now, you've seen in the past, I've told people on this channel or Ontario Weather and Wilderness Watchers, just get the fuck out now. Go. Don't wait, because you saw what happened in 2015 or 16 when we had Fort McMurray go on. We saw how crazy it can be when everyone's got to leave at once, right? So it's like, if you even think there's a chance of, and you don't have anything holding you back, just go. If you got somewhere else you can go to get away, get away, And like last year when the fire happened at the edge of Williams Lake, I was telling people, get out now. And luckily they didn't have to. They caught that one in time. But that was a dangerous situation, man. And it's like, those highways start getting cut off by fire, it's going to limit where you can go. Discuss evacuation plans ahead of time, right? So make sure everyone knows the protocol. And that was frustrating for me because I was trying to tell people I care about, please consider leaving right now. And they're like, well, no, I think it's going to be fine. I'm like, man, Jasper's burning down. It's not fine. Things aren't fine right now. There's fire weather, but people don't understand fire weather, so they don't understand why I'm freaking out at certain times and not others. Subscribe to your local weather alerts. No, subscribe. Shannon, it's supposed to say subscribe to Joey Only Care to Be Fucking Weather Dude. What's wrong with you, Shannon? Emergency notifications to receive timely information. Stay informed about the types of natural disasters likely to occur in your area. Right? So reflect and adjust after each disaster season. Review the effectiveness of your preparedness measures and make necessary adjustments. Engage with your community. That's something I think needs to happen here in Wells and hasn't been happening, seeing as we had everyone had to leave, and I don't see, it's been now months and months and months and months and months and months since last July when everybody in Wells had to evacuate. We still haven't really had these larger discussions as a community. We haven't had like a community meeting at the town hall. People get together and say, this is what happened to me. Here's what I feel. Here's what I'm worried about in the future. Okay, well, we're taking notes of that. Maybe we can't solve all these problems today, but at least we can start getting a grip on what people are seeing from a variety of perspectives. That's the community and activist to me. That's how I look at things. And that's how I think leadership should be. And that includes your own crews, right? It's like one of the things I always do with my own crews. I'm like, guys, nice to meet you. My name's Joey. Let's find out what you're good at, what you like to do, so that I don't put you in a position to fail, right? Easy stuff. Achievement through preparedness. By following these guidelines, you enhance your ability. You prove preparedness translates to greater safety, reduction in panic. That's a big one, actually, reduction in panic. In fact, when I started taking survival instructor course for air cadets and all that back in the mid-'90s, early 90s, the first topic on the list was mental health, right? And what happened back then was a C-130 had crashed up an alert in 1991, and a number of people got killed. The pilot gave away his coat. The wings of the aircraft were 150 meters away. They waited 3 days in the blizzard. No one could find them. But in the wings of those C-130 Hercules, CC-130s, is it's like a raft that is covered, and everyone could have taken much better shelter in there than in the fuselage of the airplane. Okay, I'm having trouble talking right now. So your mental health is the big one, right? And it's like, I know one thing I'm really good at is not panicking at all during emergency. Like, okay, this is happening. And then like 2 days later, having a hard time, functioning. But, it's you either deal with it in the moment or you deal with it after. And if you're an emergency responder or you're in an emergency, it doesn't do you any good to deal with it in the moment. You really have to push that off and try to as much as possible. There you go. So, engaging with the community. This just goes back to what I was just saying. Share your knowledge with your friends. Share with it, and so we need to have processes of sharing our stories after an event like this happens. In a small town like Wells, I think it's completely possible. There's only 200-something people here, and I'm sure there's enough people who want to get together and have these discussions, right? Maybe it's a little bit difficult if you're in a city of, 50 million people. Not that there's a city with 50 million people in the world, but you know what I'm saying. Having your support networks, right? So foster relationship with local emergency services to better understand their protocols. That helps you if you know what they can and can't do. I mean, what's frustrating me is how much I'm told emergency services in Wales can't do, and I don't buy that anymore. Preparedness is a continuous process that can be it can significantly impact your survival. Embrace the responsibility. So good article, Shannon. Thank you very much. Now in fucked up news, Brazil slams U.S. after dozens of deportees arrived handcuffed. So these guys got sent to Brazil, 88 of them in handcuffs, manacled. Immediately told by Brazilian authorities, take those handcuffs off those people. Explanations from the U.S. government about the degrading treatment of passengers will be requested from Brazil. So this is awful. Edgar de Silva Moura, a 31-year-old computer technician, was on the flight after 7 months in detention in the United States. They didn't give us water. We were tied hands and feet. They wouldn't let us go to the bathroom. It was hot. Some people fainted. Luis Antonio Rodriguez Santos, a 21-year-old freelancer, recounted the nightmare of people with respiratory problems during 4 hours without air conditioning due to technical issues on the fucking plane. Things have changed with Trump. Man, this is awful stuff. This is what you're going to see more of, right? This is children with autism who went through very serious experiences were on the flight. Upon learning of the situation, President Lula ordered a Brazilian Air Force aircraft be mobilized to transport the Brazilians to their final destination in order to ensure they can complete their journey with dignity and safety. Why would anyone want to go to America? Why would you want to even go there to visit? Why would you want to go there to spend $1? I'm telling you, man, don't go to America. If you can spend $1 that is on a product made and grown or produced in Canada whatsoever, and it's not like I'm some nationalist in the way that maybe you would want me to be, but I'm a nationalist when it comes to defending us from these fuckers. Yeah, I'm just so sickened by some of these things that are going on, right? So there's an estimated 11 million undocumented migrants in the United States. That's about how many people died in the fucking Holocaust, by the way. Well, it's not all bad news. Lisa Leonard Peltier has been granted clemency after 50 years. I just don't understand, Joe. Why would you spend 4 years in office? You made the guy wait 4 fucking years? You know, like 50 wasn't enough. Let's just make him wait 4 more while I, set up the country for failure. Meanwhile, in Gaza, you're talking about 1.5 million people, and we can just clean out that whole thing. Here's Trump saying ethnic cleansing in Gaza is his plan. I don't know, something has to happen, but it's literally a demolition site right now. Almost everything's demolished. That's because your fucking weapons are being used to kill people. So you go and bomb everyone, then you're going to gaslight them too? Everyone's dying there, so I'd rather get involved with some Arab nation and build housing in a different location. He's not talking about building housing for Palestinian people. Great Lakes sea ice cover about 20%, which is about average. So that's good news so far this winter for them. Don't worry, revolutionaries. This dark period will end, and socialist utopia will come out of it. But, this is the truth. People are talking about pretty openly in the United States now, and people you don't expect to hear saying it, that revolution is going to need to happen. Revolution is going to need to happen. Something bad's going to happen. The oligarchy, everything's coming to a hub. We're coming to a head where we are now deciding the future of the human species. And the vision of the rich, elites, and powerful, they think they're going to win, and they're not. I know it was a very scary time, and it's going to be darker for a lot. It's going to be a lot darker before it gets any better. I'll tell you that, okay? We're in for a very prolonged, dark, protracted, awful time for humanity on Earth. There's no getting around that. So here's the hope. Here's the hope that these people are so power hungry, so sick, so disturbing, that eventually the French Revolution kind of comes, and we can put Elon on a fucking guillotine and lop his goddamn stupid... Well, I won't be drinking this shit this morning. Non-woke coffee for folks who are sick and tired of woke crap. Actually, I'm going to go get my... what do I have right now, actually? I got that Kicking Horse coffee. It's probably woke coffee. Good. Here's my coffee. Finally pouring my coffee. And I'm sitting on an awkward chair. It's like a short one. I'm like doing something, trying to do anything I can to change my position of my body sitting here. I'm in so much neck and back pain. I tell you, it's been years since I've had a proper massage of any kind. I'm not holding my breath. That ain't fucking happening. But, maybe I'll rub my back against a tree later on today when I'm outside. Here's another thing. I just love this. You gotta love when some random Facebook page comes on your feed and says, the magnetic poles have officially shifted. Well, yeah, it moves all the time, you fucking morons. People are like shitting in their pants, eh? Like, you know, and the other guys are like joking about, well, raise the taxes then. And other people are saying, oh, there's no climate change. It's just the magnetic poles are moving. And some say it's a sign Jesus is returning. Oh, the magnetic poles are moving. It must mean Jesus is coming back. The fucking magnetic poles are always moving. They move every day a little. They're always meandering around. They don't stay in one place. It's like you think the pole is this place on the globe, and it's not. It's a magnetic field that has its my fuck people are stunned. Active systems of disinformation come along. What they're trying to do is dull the vestiges that you have left of critical thinking. And all people can do is they can hit the wow emoticon as they lap the bullshit up. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me. You know, it's like this non-stop feeding of crap into your eyes from Facebook. And that's why I suggest to you that consider Blue Sky. It's actually without the constant barrage of advertising, it's like, wow, you forget that social media can just be a place to go where you can go find what you are looking for, you know? It's like, but I get these advertisements just pumped into my feed, or these, I call them, they're basically fake fucking sites. It's like, you know, follow, you see it comes up and 57,000 people are like, wow, the magnetic poles have officially shifted. And it's like just smoke and mirrors, you know? It's like, well, we won't give you any actual knowledge here. We'll, feed you something that'll like freak you the fuck out or make you think some crazy shit. Anyways, yeah, it's there's an active program trying to make people dumber now, and it's working. It's working really, really well, actually, as a matter of fact. Oh yeah, back to Facebook bullshit. Parapurge. You can't purge a parasite. This is bullshit. It doesn't work that way. But here's your ivermectin. Here's your fucking crap that some wackos decided would stop COVID. It didn't. Oh, it says free range on it. It must be non-pharmaceutical. See, this is what drives me fucking crazy. Is these people are like, well, the pharmaceuticals are out to take all our money. Well, look here's some assholes selling crap that doesn't fucking work. Take my money. Sponsored Donatage. Pure spermidine. I'm never putting anything called spermidine in my fucking mouth. Meanwhile, you have assholes like this guy, like, dude, it would have been cheaper just to shut the fuck up. Meanwhile, last weekend they had a falling iguana warning. So they had iguanas just falling out of fucking trees down there in Florida. It was so cold. And what happens is they, there's a cold-blooded animal. They just stop moving and they fall out of the tree. They're not dead. Okay, we figured out what was actually going on with the Trump and Bishop Bud problem. He's really furious because as a bishop, Bishop Bud can move as far as she wants diagonally. But as a Russian pawn, he can only move one square at a time. Marjorie Taylor Greene's like, we're going to go back to Christian values. And like, man, I wish you would. I mean, I don't expect anyone else to. No, I don't want Bishop Bud to. I want her to keep speaking out like a woman should. But as for you, no, I'd rather you remain quiet. Just shut your fucking mouth, Marjorie Taylor Greene. No one needs to hear anything else you have to say. You're just a terrible excuse for a human being, and that's the truth. But speaking of Bishop Bud, for those who want to support her, here's an address. You can send her a postcard. Maybe when I'm at the store today and I see the postcards, you get beautiful postcards from Wells, BC. Maybe Bishop Bud would like to see that. Although I'm sure you send that postcard and they'll be like, the FBI will be like taking your number down, taking your name down, so that when Americans invade here, you're on the list of people they'll come fucking shoot or jail or harass or watch. Yeah. Anyways. So this wonderful woman, she spoke against Trump last week. She spoke to him. She didn't speak against him. She spoke to him. She spoke to him, not against him. And they tried to like pretend it was like some radical woke leftist woman went crazy. No, this is a woman who spoke to him saying, hey, show people the compassion and mercy that Jesus would expect. If you are what you say you are, you say that you found God and you found love. Well, I'm here to tell you, you're a liar. That's what she was doing. She was proving that he was a liar, and he is. So, Reverend Marianne Edgar Budd, I think you're fantastic. When you look at CNN right now, these guys are lapping up the shit. They are scared to say anything. Los Angeles Times newspaper, for example, the owner of the paper has now decreed that any article. And the editor is fighting him because any article now that's critical of Trump has to go to the owner first for his approval. And that's this is everyone's kowtowing. Only people like the Midas Touch Kyle Kalinske, the Secular Network, only people like Democracy Now!, one of my all favorite time shows, are pushing back on this. And it's important that you realize that the traditional media is going to kiss his ass because they're terrified. They're terrified. And your only heroes left, it's not the Democratic Party. They're not even swinging. There's, and they're like, well, who should we run for the next? How about we run the Democratic person and politician who most agreed with Trump? That's like their plan. They have no fucking plan. Democracy's failing. It's failing because of them. The Democratic Party, like, for 4 years, you should have had Trump fucking locked up by now. Epstein didn't kill himself. You know this shit. They play nice. They play passive politics. They wait 4 fucking years even to let Leonard Peltier out of jail, an innocent man. And it's like, hey, I'm glad you did that, Biden. It took you 4 years. What the hell is wrong with you? That guy should have been out 49.999999 years ago. So Elon's finally figured out, apparently I'm a Zionist and a Nazi. That's right, actually. That's what you are. It's like, what kind of comparison can we make? It's like, well, Trump is, Palpatine, and this guy's Darth Vader. Fuck, that's lame. Coming up on the Meteorological Report this Thursday night. Every Thursday night we have the podcast here on the channel. That's we have all the comedy plus meteorology equals meteorology. We have all the meteorologists and storm chasers and Frankie McDonald and weather nerds. We all get together and talk about the weather, and guys like Frankie here, he's always out there trying to spread the joy of us.
Hey everybody, my name is Frankie McDonald. You're listening to Meteorological Weather Report every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. And Joey Only's a really nice guy. He used to work for Vancouver Giants Western Hockey League team. He's a big fan of Prince George Cougars Western Hockey League team. And Joey Only's a really nice guy. And with Imogen Cookie Bailey, Brandon Helk, Joe Stover, and the others on Joey Only Show every Thursday nights. And I do the weather reports and things like this. And Brandon Helk does the weather reports on Joey Only Show. And I do the weather reports all over the world, especially in interior British Columbia, Vancouver, and the surrounding areas. It's on CFUR 88.7 FM in Prince Georgia, CKUW 95.9 FM in Winnipeg, and CFBX 92.5 FM in Kamloops is on Rogers Cable Access TV in Vancouver Island and Rogers Cable Access TV in Northern British Columbia, including Prince George and the surrounding areas. Now, and Joey Onley's a really nice guy. He used to work for Vancouver Giants Western Hockey League team. And Joey Onley's a really nice guy. I'm on his podcast every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. It's on YouTube, Caribou Weather Dude. Joey Only, Caribou Weather Dude. Best of luck to you. I'm Frank Dow. You listen to Meteorological Weather Report every Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. See you then.
And Karen, she goes to, her and Tim love going to Prince George Cougar games all the time. Karen Richards from our show. She happened to bump into my good friend Kim Gucci, who Kim Gucci designed this beautiful jersey for the Prince George Cougars last year for Indigenous Peoples Nights. And she, as a sobriety present, got me one with my name and number on it, and I absolutely love it. It's like the first thing you see when you come in the door of my place is like the jersey's hanging there with the Twisters movie poster, the big one that came at a Carib Theater in Quesnel. They gave me the movie poster. So nice gifts, really nice gifts. So here's Gucci and her wonderful stand that she had there in Prince George this weekend.
Hey, Joey, look who I found at the Cougars game. Wanted to say hi.
Hi, Joey. I actually have a booth here. Check it out.
Check it out, Joey.
I have the artwork over here, and my CDs over here. My friend Julie's helping me, and we're auctioning off a jersey. I know you already have one. You don't need one, but yeah. So, hi. Hope you're doing well over in Wells. Thanks for all the weather reports.
Talk to you later.
It is a beautiful morning out. Still, what are we at now? 16.7 below. It's 8:54 a.m. at the time I'm recording this. 16.7 below. Something I forgot to mention on my forecasting last night was that we hit 18.6 on Saturday night below, and then we were up to 5.8 or 6 yesterday, which was the highest temperature we've had all January. So we had almost our lowest temperature. Our lowest temperature was like 19.6 so far this entire winter. We've had almost our lowest temperature and warmest temperature, 25 degrees spread in one day. I think that's really incredible. And we're breaking lots of temperature records. Up in the north, we'll be looking at a lot of that kind of stuff over the next week, because we got, looking at BC, we got some pretty bad stormy weather coming this weekend. I think it's going to get pretty nasty, so stay tuned to the channel for more information on that. I think by Wednesday, I'll have some snowfall predictions, like some, like we looked at some possible numbers last night. We're throwing them around, but that's like, well, here's what the models are saying. This is maybe possible. I think, when we get to Wednesday, like, well, we're 2 days out now. Let's have a firm idea. And like, this is what's going to happen 2 days from now. I think 48 hours is always more than enough lead time in today's meteorological world. We have enough tools at our disposal that within 48 hours, we're pretty goddamn accurate now for the most part, Things do get by, though, because weather is, well, it's not that it's unpredictable. It's that things are unforeseeable. It's that, it's like I found this in nature. You like, I'm going to learn about wolves now, It's like, now I read the book and I read what it says I'm supposed to know about wolves, and then you go out and watch wolves, like, it didn't say they do that in the book. And it's like, well, that's nature. Individuals do their own thing. And it's like, well, weather is kind of like that too. It has its own thing it's trying to achieve at any given time, right? Whether it's consciously trying to achieve that or not. So check this out. My good friend Chris Walter's got a brand new, and he's right, Facebook sucks. This is a brand new book that he's put out. The Rise of Social Media is Informative and Disturbing. A Fearless Society of the world's largest social media site, and the shortcuts CEO Mark Zuckerberg took to get there. But more than a stinging expose, this veritable goldmine of suggestions, trivia, user data, and satire will have you wondering how you survived so long without it. Perfect for Facebook rookie and grizzled veterans alike, this foray into the woolly depths of social media examines the folly of dick pics, the joy of blocking, and the secret of to winning arguments. You will find tips on how to avoid scammers, insights into the origin of fake news, and the mystery of algorithms. And you look at Chris, he's like so funny. He's like, I don't care how many shooters you did at the bar. I want you to think long and hard before you're sending a dick pic to that new hot friend. It's never crossed my mind I should send a dick pic to somebody, It's like, although I guess maybe it's crossed my mind, like, I wish somebody would want that, but no one's going to want that. It's like, no one cares, especially from, 45-year-old guy like me. And it's like, get that through your head. No one likes you. No one's going to like you. So stop sending pictures of your dick to people, guys. Okay. First of all, be aware that no guy in history of time has ever gotten laid by sending an unsolicited photo of their genitalia to an unsuspecting woman. That may not be true, Chris, because as we know, reality is very variable. But what it should say is no guy in the history of time should have gotten laid by sending a photo. That's what it should say. You might think that ladies aren't able to resist the sight of your sweaty schlong, turgid or otherwise, but I'm here to tell you they absolutely can. Yeah, I know. It's true. Okay, so in fact, women take such a dim view of dick pics. Not only will they not fuck you, but your entire lineage might be called into question. That's right. They'll trace your heritage all the way back to the Mayflower, wherever, just to make sure they never bonk anyone even distantly related to you. That photo you took drunk in the mirror at 3 a.m. will tail you like a store detective for the rest of your life, waiting for the worst possible moments to pounce. And I was just on the turlet this morning there having a turd and looking at the guy in the Canadian Geographic there at Sable Island. He's like, he's getting off his little boat there to Sable Island. And I'm like, my fuck, that looks like Joe Stover. And Joe Stover, what does he say? He says, yeah, he wishes. That's true, because no matter how cool this guy's job is, and he's got, pretty cool beard and all, he'll never be as fucking cool as Joe Stover. That's absolutely true.
What is your favorite temperature? What is the perfect temperature?
180 degrees.
There's even a strong likelihood, and I'm concerned about it, that I may never be as fucking cool as Joe Stover. As always, Frankie's been keeping me up to date on the progress of Popeye's Chicken. Every day he sends me new photos of them building. So here's Popeye's Chicken progress. There's a photo of it he sends me, and he's just Popeye's Chicken progress again, and Popeye's Chicken progress once again. Frankie can't wait. And it's like, it'll blow his mind when he finally gets to see Mark. Oh man, you get emails too. He says, oh yeah. You're going to laugh, but one of the things I've heard more than any other thing in my whole life is like, you were right, Joey. I've heard that about weather. I've heard that about fires. I've heard that about relationships. I've heard that about hockey. Not enough because I'm a Leaf fan. I would like to hear it more about hockey. But the Blues pretty good this year, so maybe soon. Maybe it'll be like, I fucking told you so. They're a better team than they used to be, and they're first in the Atlantic Division. Come on. But yeah, the four, guys like me, you like look back and you're like, wow, Joey only 25 years ago said the same things. Like, he really hasn't changed, this guy. He hasn't changed since he was a teenager. This is my life. I'm happy in the mountains. So I don't know. This might be the best it ever gets for me. So please support me if you can. I really appreciate it when you do. Hit likes and shares, subscribe, tell a friend, and please don't be afraid to hit the thanks button. Send a donation. Last night, someone sent $2. It's those small donations that they all add up through the month. They make a big difference. I went from 100,000 views in November to 35,000 views a month since Trump won. Like, my views have gone down. My revenue's going down. And I'm worried that there's not a future long run in this for me. So, like, well, no, I'm going to try my best to get through the winter, try to get to fire season and get to some actual pay dirt work. I don't know. Can I survive as a YouTuber? I don't know. I'm doing my best. But, having guys like Derek send me things like drones and presents and this microphone he sent me too. It's like, it's not just the money. It's like I need a lot of things to be really good at what I do. I need hard drives. I need new computers. I need you think of it. It's like, go look at the list of what does a videographer need. And I probably need that. I want to get a website going. I'm not good at making that kind of shit. I want to sell T-shirts and things like that. Have the Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers logo on them, but I'm not good at that kind of shit. So it's like things I've been talking about for a year and a half when it comes to that haven't improved, and maybe that's something I got to do. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this up now. It's just after 9, and go do some drone flying this afternoon. When you're an introvert and you don't know how to end a conversation, so you just roll away, and it's like, I always just say, bye now.